Let's be real, a lot of people thought Lewis Hamilton's start with Ferrari would be rough, slow, awkward. And can you blame them? New car, new team, new philosophy. A garage that's been stuck in identity crisis mode for years. But guess what? It's not Lewis who's lagging. It's the doubters who need to catch up. British driver and Le Mans winner Chadwick just said what many won't. This Ferrari-Hamilton partnership has already exceeded expectations. And not because of a fluke result, but because Hamilton is doing what only the greats do. Adapting fast, diagnosing faster, and elevating the entire operation around him. Let's talk China. That sprint pole and win, not just a nice moment. That was Lewis delivering Ferrari their first taste of victory this season in a car that's far from sorted. That's not luck. That's elite muscle memory kicking in. And while both Hamilton and Leclerc got hit with disqualifications that Sunday, here's what didn't get scrapped: the data, the progress, the insight Hamilton brought to the team. He spotted an underperforming element on his car in Japan, something even the engineers hadn't dialed in. That's why he was brought in, not just to race, to rebuild from the inside out. Chadwick nailed it again. Lewis made a big step in just 2 races. That's unheard of in modern F1, where switching teams with zero testing is like trying to play chess blindfolded on a different board. And Bahrain? That's a track Hamilton knows well from preseason. That means one thing: opportunity. Sure, McLaren are flying right now, but as Jamie put it, this era of F1 is all about execution. One error in Q3, one blown apex, and suddenly the race is gone. Hamilton's a master of execution. If Ferrari can give him even 80% of a working platform, he'll extract 100%. This isn't about whether Ferrari is currently 4th best. It's about whether they're listening to the one driver who's taken teams from chaos to championships twice. And from the way this is heading, he's about to do it again. So if you're still wondering whether Hamilton's move to Ferrari was worth it, look again. The numbers may not scream title fight yet, but the foundation is there. He's not just racing, he's building, reshaping, leading. Let's get this straight. Anyone judging Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari switch purely by finishing positions is missing the real story. You want results? That'll come. But the real impact? It's already happening behind the scenes. Quietly, powerfully. And guess who's blowing the lid off it? Marc Gené, former F1 driver and longtime Ferrari insider. He just told the world what we've suspected all along. Lewis Hamilton isn't just driving for a Ferrari, he's transforming it. It's really not easy, Gené says, and he's right. You don't just hop from a team you've called home for 12 years, jump into a completely different philosophy, car architecture, software system, and dominate. But Lewis isn't just surviving the transition. He's teaching Ferrari how to win again. Despite the noise around his early P7 finishes, the man's already dropped a sprint win in China. And even when disqualified for plank wear in Shanghai, while Leclerc got the boot for being underweight, Lewis was doing the one thing only the greats do: diagnosing problems before they break the car. He identified an underperforming element before anyone else. That's not guesswork. That's feel. That's a decade and a half of elite racing intelligence in action. And let's not sugarcoat it, this SF-25. It's no walk in the park. Ferrari's ride height issues have been a nightmare. The handling window's tight, the balance is twitchy, but Lewis? He's already adapting, already reshaping how the team communicates, how they approach setup, how they think. Gené put it perfectly. Already in the briefings, you can tell he's giving very important information. That's the real value. This isn't just about driving, it's about leadership. Lewis is doing what only very few in this sport can, building something bigger than himself. And Hamilton? He's not delusional about the challenge. His own words at the SF-25 launch laid it bare. It's completely different. It's rare that you just jump in and it just fits. But he's not fighting the change, he's embracing it. With that calm, calculating mindset that's carried him to 7 world titles. The Ferrari ecosystem is foreign. The steering wheel? Different. The language, the car behavior, the setups, all alien. But Lewis isn't complaining. He's adjusting, sharpening, rewiring his approach in real time. That's championship DNA. And he's doing it while still outpacing most of the grid in raw performance and insight. Let's also acknowledge something that most experts won't say out loud. Ferrari hasn't exactly made it easy. With internal debates over upgrade timing, ride height sensitivity, and an SF-25 that feels more GP2 at times than Ferrari, Hamilton is dragging this thing forward through sheer will, feedback, and experience. So if you still think this move won't pay off, you're only looking at the surface. The revolution is happening behind closed doors. Let's cut through the noise. The pit lane showdown between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris in Japan looked like pure chaos. Grass flying, cars side by side, radio complaints blazing. And yet the stewards? They barely blinked. No investigation, no penalty, and no, it wasn't a conspiracy. It was the rulebook in action, and you won't hear that explained properly on your average F1 show. But here at Paddock Insider, we break it down. No filter. So here's what went down. Oscar Piastri dove into the pits on lap 20. Red Bull and McLaren immediately countered. Verstappen in, Norris in. Red Bull stop, a touch slow. McLaren nailed it. Norris comes flying down the working lane, sees daylight, and boom, he's alongside Verstappen heading toward pit exit. This was the one moment McLaren had to snatch the lead. Norris throttles up. Verstappen holds his line. And suddenly, Norris runs out of road, mowing the grass in a move that sent every F1 fan's heart rate through the roof. Was it aggressive? Yes. Was it illegal? Absolutely not. Here's why. Verstappen was already in the fast lane, and per FIA regulations, specifically Appendix L, Chapter 4, Article 5. B drivers in the fast lane have the right of way. That's not a guideline. That's hard law. Norris, coming from the working lane, had to merge safely behind. So when Max didn't move over, he didn't have to. He was defending legally and ruthlessly, as he always does. So what about unsafe release? Again, nope. This wasn't some wheel-banging melee mid-pit lane. It was at the far end. No mechanics were in danger. Max didn't have to brake or dodge. By the letter of the rule book, Article 5, F, and Article 34.14 of the F1 sporting regulations, there was no danger and no hindrance. No violation. And here's the kicker. Both drivers laughed it off. Max, ever the sniper, said, "The grass wasn't really well cut on the right-hand side." Lando saw that and made sure it was nicely trimmed. Norris fired back, "I wasn't even trying to race Max. I was just trying to cut the grass, like he said." Pure class. Two world-class racers giving it everything and still having the humility to turn it into a joke post-race. That's what makes this sport worth watching. And for those wondering why Red Bull's stop was slower, here's the human story. Two of their lead mechanics, twin brothers, had to fly home from Suzuka due to a family emergency. Red Bull brought in backups. That stop wasn't just slower, it was gutsy. And they still got the job done. So don't let the Twitter takes fool you. This wasn't favoritism, this wasn't dodgy stewarding, it was textbook racing protocol. Fast lane, priority, end of. This isn't just another garage drama, this could be the start of a full-on power shift at Ferrari. According to Corriere dello Sport, one of Italy's most respected outlets, and trust us, when they speak, Maranello listens, Charles Leclerc has drawn a line in the sand. "I'm going my own way." Yes, that's reportedly what Leclerc told team boss Fred Vasseur and Ferrari's top engineers after Suzuka. Not in frustration, but in clarity, in control. While Lewis Hamilton has become the new voice of influence inside Ferrari, Leclerc just reminded them, he's not here to play second fiddle in his own team. And who can blame him? Ferrari's start to 2025 has been shaky at best. Sure, Hamilton took the sprint win in China, a brilliant moment, but when it comes to Sunday performance, it's Leclerc who's carrying the flag. His P4 in Japan remains the Scuderia's best Grand Prix result of the season. Quietly consistent, quietly quicker. But here's the kicker. Ferrari has reportedly been hanging on Hamilton's every word since his blockbuster arrival from Mercedes. And look, we get it. 7 world titles, a proven developer, a living legend. But if you're Charles Leclerc, sitting 5 points clear of Hamilton in the standings, having out-qualified and out-raced him in every GP so far, at some point you say, enough. That's exactly what Charles did. Heading into Bahrain, he's supposedly charting a completely different direction for the SF-25, a setup tailored to his own driving style, not built around Lewis's data. And it's about time. Because if Ferrari keeps trying to please both sides of the garage with one compromised car, they'll please no one. Let's be real. The SF-25 isn't a frontrunner right now. Both drivers know it. Leclerc said it outright, there's just not enough performance in the car. And Hamilton has hinted at an underperforming element on his side of the garage. So what does Ferrari do? Keep guessing? Or let their two elite drivers fight for solutions on their own terms? This is what makes Leclerc's move so bold and necessary. He's not walking away from the team, he's walking toward leadership. While everyone fixates on Hamilton's every radio message, Charles is taking charge of his own destiny. And don't think this is ego, it's urgency. Ferrari sits P4 in the constructors. Red Bull is flying. McLaren looks surgically sharp. Mercedes is sniffing around. If Leclerc and Hamilton are going to claw Ferrari back into this fight, it's going to take two different minds pushing one flawed car forward in their own ways. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Ferrari needs. So let's see what Bahrain brings. A turning point? A split in philosophy? Or a moment of genius from a driver who refuses to be anyone's understudy? If you've made it this far, you're clearly not here for the surface level stuff. So here's what you do next. Like this video if you think Leclerc's independence is exactly what Ferrari needs. Comment below, who should Ferrari build around, Charles or Lewis? Subscribe to Paddock Insider because we don't do PR fluff. We do real F1. Paddock Insider. Unfiltered, sharp-eyed, obsessed with performance.